Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Did I Save, a gaming podcast. We talk about how games change and how they change us. I'm Tay, and of course I've got with me Ryan
I'm
and
Ryan.
Jared.
And I'm Jared. I'm the Jared.
That's right. That's the Jared.
We're getting
In
back
this
in the groove of
episode,
things.
yeah, we're surviving the snowstorm of 2026, so we are indoors for this episode.
It's brutal out there.
That's right.
Salt everywhere.
Dude, I have the lack of salt, I think, is the problem.
I have nothing over here. Do you have actual snow?
Well, no,
I-
there's no snow yet, but I'm just talking about, I just
oh,
haven't
it's
seen any
gonna be
trucks
bad.
out.
Yeah.
I saw some guy with like a hat and a vest on, and he was like just taking chunks of salt out of a bag and just throwing it around. And I'm like, what's happening, dude?
Natalie
Like,
called
we're
it
so unprepared in the South for
Yeah.
snow.
She looked at our like parking lot out here. She's like, it's like someone had an Indian wedding out here with salt because it's just tossed very, very vaguely in different
Yeah.
directions.
Yeah,
It's
no
gonna do
rhyme or reason
nothing.
for That's awesome. But start of the new year, first episode of the new year, we're going to talk about our big brain gaming predictions, some of our hopes and dreams, hopefully, and I'd love to get some thoughts on a few things. We'll see how we'll circle back around at the end of the year and see how right or wrong we are.
Yeah, see who lost thousands of
You better
dollars on these
put it
stupid
in
bets
your-
we made.
Yeah.
That's
Put it in
right,
your
bro.
calendar now to remind yourself to look back on this episode because I will forget.
Okay, thanks.
As I predict 2026 will be wild.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh. Well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ryan, do you want to start?
Start. You want me to start with that first question you sent me?
Yeah, sure. We can do
Games
that.
that I think will kill it this year.
Yeah, man.
You know what? I'm a little hesitant to say like early access games because there's like early access games that are like already killing it.
Yeah.
And then it's like they release and it's like, okay, it doesn't really feel like a release. It just feels like a patch at this point. But so I'm gonna just mention other games besides early access games. But Big Walk is a game I'm very excited for.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's gonna kill it because it's the team that brought us the Untitled Goose Game, and that was very well
right.
received.
Yes.
So I think there's a lot of hype for this game, and I think it's going to come out of nowhere and be like super popular.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
eating. I have a lot to say. I'm usually interrupting you 3 or 4 times by now.
I was weirded out like how long I got before. I didn't know what to do with my hands or anything.
Oh, I
Yeah,
get more
that's right.
words. I don't. Yeah, no, this it gives me a lot of confidence that it's going to be much more significant than just like another cozy friend simulator kind of game.
Yeah.
But I really like that it's basically it's kind of like what was that game where you're on an island and there's just puzzles everywhere on each other, so you'll go to this console and solve a puzzle, but it's teaching you the fundamentals of how to solve like bigger puzzles in the world.
I know what you're talking about.
It's like that. Like this open, I don't know that it's going to be that intricate in terms of how the puzzles interact with each other, but just the idea that we're all going to be hanging out and it's going to be directed in this way that like we're kind of just doing whatever we want and we will stumble upon like this very focused, intentional like problem that we have to solve together. And then when we do that, we just move on. Like it's kind of like a get together in a digital space where you kind of have games that drive the direction of what you're doing. I think that's much more interesting to me. It's like Peak, where you have a singular goal, but it often feels at odds to me with the act of hanging together. Like it's so focused on just doing that thing that I feel like I'm constantly distracted by the goal of what we're doing, as opposed to this game feels like a much more interesting balance between those two things. So I too am very excited for Big Walk.
Yeah, I think that there will be distractions in that game, but it will be like it doesn't matter because it just it's just gonna be fun to be in that game. That it's just like you're hanging out. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
definitely agree.
I was trying to find that game you were talking about. It was on tip of my tongue, but I cannot find it.
Yeah, so we'll definitely keep an eye on Big Walk Fan. It looks like the perfect just friends game in this big world with these goofy characters, man. It just it just and like the trailer, it seems like so calm when it's just gonna turn into chaos at you like yelling at your friends
Yeah.
while you're playing. But it looks like a blast.
I was looking at this fun little game. I'll start off light called My Tiny Garden that I like a lot.
Okay.
It is part of this new little trend of focus games where it's installed onto your desktop. So you work while it is literally the background on your desktop computer. And it's a little like a flower shop that this little cat is selling flowers out of. And as customers come in and buy stuff, you just use that money to decorate your desktop with new stuff to like display new stuff that you'll have for sale. But I really like that. Unlike the other games, it seems like it actually uses the physical space as if it were the window of a video game, so to speak. So, like when you get new items, you're physically placing them on the desktop, whereas the other ones are kind of effectively a video that's being rendered in the background. So I think it'll be interesting to see if this builds on the genre in a way that kind of makes it more engaging than just background noise. But it's not going to be anything that's going to blow anybody's mind. But I like those kinds of games. It helps me focus because I have whatever brand of ADHD makes it to where I can focus better when I have a slight distraction in the background.
Yeah, that's right up your
Yeah,
alley.
like everything I
Yeah.
hear, I process better if I'm like doodling or something.
Yeah,
Everything
exactly.
just like sinks in. So if like there's a task that my brain is like subconsciously doing, my conscious is like just like super absorbing everything I'm hearing.
Exactly. I need a tiny cat to sell flowers in front of me, or I just can't get anything done.
Like right
And
now,
my boss refuses to believe me. You know.
like right now, this is really hard for me to keep my attention in this conversation.
Yeah. I
wish
get it,
had-
man.
I wish I had my tiny garden right now.
Trust
That's
me. I
right.
have to throw darts at pictures of both of you just to keep up with this conversation.
Amen. This is like a virus that takes over your computer. This game.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
One of my games this year is actually Monster Hunter Stories 3.
Oh
out this
Mhm.
year.
I saw something about that.
Man,
My list
I
because
could not
Taylor's gonna
be
do it.
so pumped for this game, man.
Is it going to come out on the Switch 2 exclusively, and then like 5 years later it'll come to anything else?
No, I think it comes everything. It comes on. It
Yeah,
comes
here
out
it
on
is on-
everything. Yeah,
on Steam.
in March, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I'm so stoked for this game, man. I love just mixing and matching uh different eggs for different monsters, and just man, I'm so pumped for this game, dude. And
Mm.
it's nice because it's not made for just the Switch 2, so graphically it's gonna look even better.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I am super stoked for this game, dude. I cannot.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, what else you got?
Oh, you gotta give me another one. Okay. I'm just gonna go. Oh, Reanimal, dude.
Oh, dude, Reanimal, it's on my list too.
Dude, after the letdown of Little Nightmares 3,
Absolutely.
Reanimal is gonna be just like even better because of that failure. Like, thank you for the failure that is Little Nightmares 3, so that we can
Yeah.
get. The
Yeah.
idea of
2025 was
Reanimal.
definitely a year of highs and lows. There are a lot of disappointments.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
Like think about Little Nightmares 3. Like even if it wasn't like the sequel to such a great franchise, like it would have just been bad. Like, but the fact that it was a sequel to such a great series was just like
Yeah.
such a bad for them to do just so mediocre on. But then Reanimal, you know, for those who don't know, that is the done by the original creator of the Little Nightmares series. So 1 and 2 is what they worked on, and then Little Nightmares 3 was taken over. The original creator left, and then they just went ahead and made Little Nightmares 3 without him, and now he's doing Reanimal, and it looks fantastic. It's got that full co-op that just which if you play Little Nightmares 3, everyone in the review says like it's fun if you play co-op.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only redeeming thing about it. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. But now we get a Little Nightmares quality game with co-op. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for it. It looks great. The
Yeah.
aesthetic is, right up our alley.
Yeah. I mean,
and
just
the fact that they're going
compare-
mature for this one just gets me super psyched.
Compare the like trailer footage of the two games, and it's night and day on
Oh,
quality
100%. Yeah.
and passion. It's crazy. But Little Nightmares 1 and 2 set this atmosphere that was just top notch. And in every single scene, they brought something new to the atmosphere and like constantly freaking you out. And then Little Nightmares 3 was just like so bland the whole time. Like
Yeah.
the atmosphere was already given to you, and they didn't even get that right.
Yeah.
So, and then Reanimal
Yeah.
just like amps everything up about Little Nightmares 1 and 2. So I'm pretty pumped. That comes out in
I've
February.
never been a Little Nightmares person, but I'm pretty excited about Reanimal just because often when someone who's worked on those kinds of projects for a long time goes off to do their own thing, that means that they
Yeah.
have a lot of ideas that they either didn't have the time or the resources or permission to do.
Yeah.
And it ends up being a much better version of the thing that they started with. If they leave a studio of a completely different game because they're burnt out on that franchise, that's one thing. But it's very interesting to me that this person left this other publisher to be like, I want to make the same game, but the way that I want to make it, which
Yeah.
typically means that there's a lot of like antagonistic relationships involved in whatever business deals they had. So
Yeah.
that makes me very excited and curious to see where this game's going to end up.
Game. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at Kojima when they when he was like, 'cause, I mean, Metal Gear is already off the rails, and so now he's like off the leash. And what
I
is
wasn't
he
sure
gonna
whether
do?
to use that as an example or not because of saying Death Stranding is.
Yeah.
I feel like Death Stranding was just like, I want every celebrity that I've ever even
Yeah.
spoken with to
Yeah.
just come and do a game with me.
I'm going to America.
You guys like Bring Me the Horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Steam is saying that Reanimal is relevant to me because I played Peak and Remnant 2. I don't think that's right.
I mean, of course, makes sense to me.
Those are very.
There was
things
one
that
tag
I
in
would
one of those
hash up to
games,
create
and,
that.
and it flagged for
It's
you.
the co-op tag. It's the co-op tag.
For sure, 100%. All right,
That's
Jared, what
hilarious.
you got for your next one, man?
My next one, another like cozy time waster because it's been a stressful time for me. Pokemon Pokopia, I think, is going to be both kind of hilarious and very interesting. Yeah, so if you don't already know, it's a game about a Ditto, and it sees a human. So it takes the form of a human, but it's got that dumb Ditto face that's hilarious.
So cute.
And then it ends up on like, I don't remember what happens if it like falls down a cavern into a new world or lands on an island or something. But regardless, it ends up alone on this island where other Pokemon are. And every time you meet a new Pokemon, you get an ability relative to that Pokemon. So like when you see Scyther, you learn to turn your hands into scythes so that you can harvest wheat. So every ability that you're like collecting as you find new Pokemon, you're absorbing into this character that you're controlling, and then you are just basically creating a self-sustaining village. It's like Stardew Valley or anything else, but with Pokemon skin wrapped around it. And it looks really interesting. It's got a lot of charm. I think it's got a lot of really good personality. The other Pokemon that you collect will like help you do stuff, but since they can only do their one thing, you have the freedom to kind of pivot and cover the gaps, so to speak, because you can do any ability you want. So
Yeah.
you're kind of assigning them, and then you're just running around either creating new fields or harvesting when you don't have enough scythers to do that, or whatever the case might be.
Mhm.
But it's very much like feels a little bit like Palmon, feels a little bit like Stardew Valley. Feels a
I
little bit
think
like a
it's
game I'll put way too much time into.
I think it's interesting that if Pow World never came out, they probably wouldn't have been making this game, but they're suing Pow World for copying them. But,
Yeah, I
uh,
I would definitely tend to agree with that.
it's also interesting that they had the chance to be like, look, this is Pow World, but you're not enslaving Pokemon because you learn their abilities instead and you do it yourself. But then they also were like, and you can enslave the Pokemon too. Like,
And don't worry,
Let's not get carried away here, right?
yeah,
That's right.
yeah. They
Well,
will
so
do
no,
stuff
so
for
no,
you.
no, it's different because you're a Pokemon, so you can't really enslave them.
And
If
you don't
they're
have a gun.
oh yeah, you don't have a gun. It's really important. We kept the guns out of this one.
Yeah. And then they kept the Pokeballs out. They were like, you know that thing we were suing them over? We don't use that anymore.
Yeah, we hate Pokeballs.
Yeah.
We quietly lost that lawsuit, and now we don't want to use Pokeballs anymore.
Yeah. Game Freak would have been suing them. Excuse me.
The Palmon devs countersue. Now we get the Pokeballs. No.
But aside from having Reanimal, which I totally agree with, my next one is I'm not gonna talk much about it because I want to talk about the next one. But
Oh, okay, great.
Next question, bro.
That's right. Well,
Let's just move on. Don't even.
Resident Evil.
Traylon deflected his own question.
No, it's not that. Resident Evil Requiem. I mean, it's a Resident Evil game.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pumped for it.
Dude,
But
yeah.
the game that I think is going to really kill it this year, and that I wasn't expecting to be as pumped about it as I am, is going to be Fable.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a no-brainer, man. It
Dude.
looks phenomenal.
Well, it's a no-brainer once you see that trailer, but I'm still
Yeah.
a little trepidatious about just
I have
getting my hopes up.
My hopes are way up at this point because it hits everything. Like it feels like I know it's not Larian. I almost said Larian. Lion Gate, the original. Is it Lion Gate, right? Lionsgate.
Lionhead.
Lionhead.
Lionsgate's the movies.
It is,
Lionhead.
it's true.
And Peter Molyneux's not there, but it's like a bunch of people who were very passionate about what they're doing, and like they're very clearly like Fable fans. So
Yeah, you can tell they get it for sure.
Yeah, they definitely capture that nostalgia while still looking like a freaking next gen game. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, Natalie said that same thing when we were watching that trailer. She's like, this feels like they even took like the way that characters pause before they respond to you feels not like a it feels like more of a bug than a feature of the original games, but they kept that like just to make sure the tone is like all the way through this game. Like even little stuff like that that's like it's kind of nostalgic to see those little moments like that. Even though most people would consider that like a negative. I
Did
think
you see the thing
looks
about
really interesting.
I mean, I know you did, but the Richard Ayoade, that you could just have a dead giant Richard Ayoade on your screen the entire time you play is just I don't know if
It's so
2026
good.
is going to top that. I don't think 2026 is going to top that.
Okay.
Indeed.
Metroid Prime 4. Can you hear me now?
Okay, Metroid Prime 4. Okay, I did miss that.
Yeah. Okay. Got kicked around between studios and ended up being kind of lackluster. And felt like it wasn't really deserving of the Metroid title. I think that's my hot take, but that's built on what a lot of other people have felt too. And I think that same fear existed for me in Fable, that because it's been so long and because it's been kicked around so much, I wasn't even 100% sure the game would come out, but I also wasn't sure that it would feel like a Fable game, that it would be like a genuinely good game, that it might feel, if it did feel like Halo, would it be too dated, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But seeing that trailer, like if that is a real representation of what that game is going to be and not just a classic Molyneux bait and switch, then for me, that game seems like good enough that I would probably buy a console to play it to make sure that it runs well enough because my laptop's old. So I haven't said that about any game because I don't own any consoles except for the Switch 2 right now. So to me, it's like huge that this game is going to be what they showed in that trailer.
Yeah.
Like, looks gorgeous, so much personality, a lot of like really meaningful design choices in the way that like every character is a real character that exists in the world. Like that kind of stuff is just, I'll fall for it every time. So Fable went from something I wasn't even sure existed to like top of my must play list in 11 minutes.
I mean, it's got to boil down to the combat for me because Fable 1 was my favorite because of the combat, and 2 and 3, like, it's like there were huge expectations for 2, and then 3 not so much for me because 2 was a letdown because the combat felt like an afterthought. It felt like Peter Molyneux was focused on everything else about the game, and then production was like, well, here's what we can do with combat. Now that we've spent all this money on that stuff, here's what we can do with combat. The spells were uninspired and bland, and the combat just felt, I don't know, weird to me. And not grounded at all, but like super flowy, but like, I don't know, not in a good way. And then 3 was just like the same exact thing, just a little bit prettier. So for me, like all that extra stuff, like I'm a combat guy. Like I like all those extra bells and whistles, like all the realism of the world and like how the characters interact with you and your decisions and all that stuff. It's like really interesting to me. But like if the combat's no fun, I'm just like not gonna keep playing that game. So it's all gonna boil down to the combat for me. But from what I've seen, it looks pretty great. So
and which I mean, day one Game Pass. So
day one Game Pass, I'm gonna buy it just on PC. Like I have a PC almost for that game. Well, exclusively, but
yeah, just all the little nuanced stuff for me is when they were talking about like thousands of NPCs that you can talk to and that you can buy shops and houses and manage basically towns.
Super immersive,
just,
but
if
it's not fun, then I don't care about the immersion.
Well, that's true. Yeah. It just, when they were talking about it and they kept on referring back to Lionhead Studios and just, being big fans of the original Fable, and they wanted to basically do right by the series. It feels like you said, like the passion is there, but obviously they have new hardware. So, and plus this is their first foray into all of that, so they're going big. So I'm sure they're doing their best to try to make sure it lands.
Yeah, and then at the same time, Peter Molyneux was like, "What are you doing with Albion? Here's a game that I've been working on." Like Peter Molyneux out of nowhere, like the same time they're trying to release information about Fable, which they've been working on this Fable game for a long time, so it's not really a coincidence. But he's got this game he's working on that he's going back to his bread and butter, like the God genre, where that he pretty much created, and back when he made the black and white games. And this game's called, like, I think it's like Heroes of Albion or something like that. What was it called?
Yeah, I think that's right. Or Worlds of Albion. But I didn't actually get a chance to look at it. I know you were talking about
Masters of Albion.
Masters of Albion.
Yeah, it looks crazy cool. Like you manage a town, like a little village, and then you build it up. You upgrade it and everything, and you're like a little hand, like from Super Smash Brothers, and you like move that hand around the world and interact with everything. And you can build with that, and you can control the lives of all these people, just like in Black and White. But you can like dive into any character and play it like an RPG. Like you can dive into a dog and run around and have all these actions, and then you can dive into like a person and you can like go into dungeons and like collect resources and stuff. So it's got this like crazy genre mix. It looks like it's just gonna flow really well just based on the trailer, and it's nothing that Peter Molyneux is like, look, this is what you're gonna be able to do. Like he's actually showing through a trailer like this is stuff that we're doing. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, but I think his vision like just works better for that genre. Like
I agree
with what he promises and what he can deliver. Like
it's easier to plant trees that will grow into a full-grown tree in a game like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
that's a good way to put it for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm on the
Uh,
side excited about that, but like Fable's obviously the main highlight. But I'll definitely be playing Masters of Albion and checking it
Yeah.
out for sure.
yeah, it honestly it might be a full price game, but it doesn't strike me as you know. And a lot of his other games like Odyssey and stuff were not typical price point games. So
Yeah, it's under
I'll
the
be
22
interested to see.
Cans developer, which has not delivered for me on any title that I can think of.
They definitely not been breaking any molds. Let's say.
Yeah. Like when they made that mobile game that we spent hours procrastinating work and tapping our phones in the
Was it
locker room.
the cube? Was it just
The
called the
cube or
cube?
whatever.
The
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of nothing.
a bunch of nothing, man. I think that was 22. I think that was under the 22 Cans name back
Wow.
then. Yeah, could be wrong, but I think so.
Yeah. All right, Jared, what you got next?
So for me, I think it's your turn, but I'll go if you want me to.
It's your turn, man.
One that I am, speaking of games that I'm cautiously optimistic about, I think Romeo is a Dead Man is probably
Oh,
a game that I'm very
yeah,
cautiously
man.
optimistic about.
I don't know who's more pumped for it. I'm curious as to why you're pumped for it. It seems off your normal path.
Because I give Suda51 the benefit of the doubt anytime he makes
Every
something.
time.
Every time. And sometimes I'm very disappointed,
Yeah.
but sometimes I'm not. So that's fun.
Uh-huh.
I often like just how weird his games are. Like, even if I don't enjoy that brand of weird, it's just very refreshing to see the industry still doing stuff that is just way out there.
Yeah.
I would always rather play a game like Romeo's a Dead Man, which looks like the combat is going to be just okay, and the story is going to be insane, and the graphics are going to be just okay, than a game like Call of Duty 15, where it's a very polished, huge budget, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing you've played 100
Yeah.
times.
Oh, yeah. For me, the
I
combat looks amazing. I will say, it looks like an amped up version of the original Let It Die, and that's what I've been wanting. So
yeah, I
and
think he
also an
has a
amped up
feel.
version of. It also looks like an amped up version of Dead Rising, to me. So
Yeah, I could definitely see that for sure. I think, like I said, it's going to be. I will see where the story goes and to decide what my overall feelings on the game are. But
yeah.
it's one of those games where
for me,
it's
the
just
story is gonna be like hard to follow, anyways. For me, I just want to slash things, and I want it to look cool, man.
That's right, man. That's right.
Yeah.
Just want it to look cool and absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be plenty of style for sure in
Like
that game.
Let It
Yes.
Die, I was like so confused. When I was like, man, I'm gonna climb this tower and I'm gonna kill stuff all the way up it, baby.
That's right. Story, who cares? As long as it's fun.
I
That's
think
right.
I'm a Grim Reaper playing an arcade
Yeah.
game, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. But also, any game that's
But
this weird is I will play it even just to see what's happening.
yeah,
I have a weird thing in my brain. My brain is kind of broken in the way that like I'll play a bad game that is doing interesting stuff before I'll play a game I enjoy the actual act of playing.
yeah, which I'll never get behind you on this.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
I'll just like, wow, this
We'll
is
just leave you on
interesting
the
and
island, Jared.
bad. Like I will put it down.
Great. Yeah. Joke's on you, Ryan. You're still going to have to listen to me talk about it on this podcast.
I know, that's why I'm like, I better put it down because I'm already gonna get it from the other end.
I don't need to see it twice.
But
do you
man,
guys
it's
have-
crazy. You compare that to Little Nightmares, and it's the same story. Like you've got Let It Die, and you got Let It Die 2 from a different developer. That just was a letdown.
Yeah.
And now you've got, Dead Man. Romeo's a Dead Man, and it's not a sequel or anything like that, but it's very similar like gameplay style to Let It Die, and I think it's gonna shadow that game, or it's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah. Fingers
Do you
crossed.
guys have any other games do you think that will kill it this year?
I mean, there's a
Yes.
ton. I think 2026 is gonna have, and so like just for the sake of moving on to the next topic, I think we should
Yeah,
move on to
for
the next
sure.
topic.
The new oh gosh, the tactics game on Nintendo. How am I blanking? Fire Emblem, the new Fire Emblem game.
Fortune's Weave. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm gonna
it's going to
buy
be
it.
great.
Yeah.
And then the one I'm probably looking forward to the most is Zero Parades for Dead Space.
I don't know what that is.
It's the new Zalm Studios game. The people that made
Yeah.
yeah, you with
Oh my
me?
gosh, what is that game called, man? Jeez.
Disco Elysium.
Disco Elysium. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you
Yeah.
say the studio, but like how many people are on that?
Oh, maybe one if we're lucky.
exactly.
It look. I think that's the
Yeah.
like. I can't help but be optimistic for it because aesthetically it looks exactly the same. And
Well, they got
the
that
whole
going.
pitch of the game is that you are a spy and you basically botched your last mission so bad that you were out of the game for good. And then they've asked you back to do one last mission, but the mission requires that you go back and try and get everybody that was on your team before to work with you again. And the whole point is the reason that that last job got botched so bad is because you burned almost every person that you were working with to save yourself. And the real focus of this game is actually just like these relationships that you've destroyed. Is it possible for you to go back and like face the consequences of what you did to save yourself? That sounds super, super interesting to me. And it's very much in that same vein of Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
So I will be it's
It's
the
the
year
main-
of cautious optimism for me.
The main
There's a
character
lot of
sounds.
things.
The main character sounds like a POS, like we got. In
Yeah,
Disco
that's
Elysium
right.
with Harry, which was just like such a love-hate relationship with that man. But
Yeah, the real hero is Kim Kitsuragi for staying with him that long.
the
but-
real hero is me. Okay,
Yeah.
That's right.
it's for making him
Um,
make decisions that he would not normally.
Yeah. No, Harry, stop drinking, please.
All
Yeah.
right.
Do
So
not
for
kill that kid.
The next question was games that you hope get announced.
That
That one would be maybe a little bit harder, just because
Yeah,
we're
Fable
really
2.
starting off the year.
Fable 2. Can we skip the sequel to this game?
That's right. That's right. Just for me, real quick, I'm always gonna hope for it, but either a Bloodborne update or a
yeah,
Bloodborne
that's
sequel.
a really good one.
So
Yeah.
I'm always gonna hope for it. Whether it happens or not, I mean, it hasn't happened this long. It's been over a decade now.
Yeah.
But we'll keep the dream alive. That's mine for this one for sure.
I don't know if I have one, honestly, like that isn't announced. They've like announced sequels to like everything. Like I would have said like Darksiders, but they've got that coming out. Darksiders.
Yeah,
4.
they just announced that not too long ago. And obviously they just announced Divinity.
Yeah, that's the
and
other one. It's like a new. I want to see Larian's new project, which it wasn't a question of like I hope it gets announced. It's just like when is it going to get announced? And it got announced.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We have too many games. They've gifted us everything we could ever want. So what are we
Yeah.
supposed to do?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, we can go ahead and move on to the next one if you want.
Well,
I will say I
Jared,
hope the Warframe fantasy game that they've been making for like 8 years,
Soulframe.
Yeah.
Soulframe, I hope that game like goes live to 1.0.
Yeah.
It
I
looks
think
good.
yeah, there's just so many interesting things they're doing in that game, and
Yeah.
I've always been such a sucker for the narrative in Warframe that I'll be interested to see them start over with a game where
I've never. Yeah.
there was so much experimentation with the beginning of Warframe, where they were trying to find their
Yeah.
footing mechanically and what kind of game it was going to be, and trying to figure out how to make enough money to keep it going. So I would really like to see them take this second pass at this game and really polish it and make it what they want it to be.
Yeah. For me, I've never had a art style that I've been so torn over, where this is some of the ugliest stuff I've ever seen in my life. It's some of the best looking stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly though.
It's like, and it's mostly the enemies that they design. It's like, and I don't know if it's on purpose, where like just gonna make you some dumb looking enemies and bosses. They're gonna be really annoying to listen to, and it's gonna it's gonna make you not want to do the missions because they're just annoying to be around these enemies, and that's gonna make you make it feel better to kill them. I guess I don't know what their like strategy is, because
I don't know.
obviously they have some like fantastic like art capabilities, but then at the same time, like there are some lows. It's just like such a roller coaster for me. But gameplay wise, that game is super fun, but also super frustrating too, because it is so grindy and confusing
Extremely grindy.
and hard to get into, and hard to recommend.
It's a Souls-like in the sense that you need the community to explain to you what anything is in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
100%.
the Soul Frame looks crazy interesting. It's just gonna be like a huge, like, fresh take on the genre. Like they're gonna be doing some things differently with the Souls genre that others have not done. Good or bad, we'll see. But it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and I hope they come out with the sequel to Spy Ops now. Sorry, Psyops now.
Psyops.
Psyops.
Yeah.
Oh man, sign me up for that.
Can we finally figure out how that story ends? I miss having a good game where it's just physics. Just throwing stuff around, watching stuff break and explode and get destroyed.
I'd love to see another entry to the Half-Life series. I didn't play the VR one. I plan on playing it when I get the VR, but I'd love to see one that isn't VR.
Yeah.
Entry to the Half-Life series.
I would like a new Red Faction game.
Oh man.
I don't know if you.
Okay, I'm down. Sign me up. I'm on. Yeah.
That was easy. Nice. We're making a Red Faction game, guys.
That's right. Oh man, underrated series, bro.
Agreed.
Yeah, but like then they didn't understand what it was underrated for. Like, why do people like this? They didn't understand.
I never played Armageddon, but it didn't obviously do very well.
Yeah, it's actually like the game's actually good, but it's just like not what people wanted from the sequel, that it got kind of bombed review.
I can't remember if I played it or not, and I can guarantee you that I did. So that tells me everything I need to know about what I.
It was just like
about that game.
it was like super linear when people wanted like a big more sandbox stuff to do. It was just like a linear.
Apparently, it takes place. Well, I mean, the original Red Faction games take place like kind of underground because it's on Mars. But in Armageddon, you're just underground the whole time, from what I understand. But I never played it, so I have no idea.
Breaking the walls of stuff, or like especially caves, like breaking rock, is the least interesting thing you could do in Red Faction, and then they surrounded you with it.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Do you want to see what's behind this rock? It's more rock.
It's more rock.
Well,
but then you could like rebuild.
In the original, it was just like you need to find a new path, and you would just literally find new areas by just blowing stuff up.
Yeah.
That game was way ahead of its time.
And to be fair, it was much more novel when the first one came out. Like just to be able to destroy anything was kind of crazy.
Yeah. And you thought like that's where video games were going at the time. Like, oh, this is like all video games are going to be doing this. And then like no one hardly touched like fully destructible environments.
Yeah. Physics and all that. They were like,
It's like the Nemesis system in the Lord of the Rings games, where I was like, dude, every game will use this. There is no drawback. Yeah, and then they patented it. Not just patented it, they were like, and we're never going to use it.
And then we're going to shut the studio down.
Yeah.
The patent will run out, though, and then people can use it. But,
those games also, not underrated because everyone loved them. They just botched the financial structure of the second one, I think.
Yeah.
But
the second one is fantastic. It builds, I think, on everything from the first one. But I was a little burnt out on it from the first one because I
know I really played it the first one to death. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So, I'd like a new one of those, please.
Please.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take any Lord of the Rings title. But the last few ones have been a bit of a disappointment, Lord of the Rings titles.
Yeah. They got a lot of good board games this year, though.
And Amazon canceled the Lord of the Rings MMO.
Yeah. Oh, really? That seems like a no-brainer.
There was a new one they were making. There is still the one that exists that is still ongoing, but they were making a new one and they canceled it.
Boo.
Yeah.
Basically, last question, other than just like pray from crazy predictions here, but who do you think will have a better year out of the big three, Nintendo, Sony, or Xbox?
It's such a crazy Man, you think Nintendo?
Yeah.
They're confident?
What are the other two
I
doing?
think I agree. Yeah, I think I agree. Sony and Xbox, like Sony just doesn't seem to be doing anything, and Xbox is just making bad decisions. And then,
Nintendo's like, or Microsoft is like right now the equivalent of like trying to hide the fact that it's picking its nose in the corner and eating it. Like they have no strategy. They're doing
Yeah.
absolutely nothing that makes any sense to me. Like I feel like they're actively trying to kill the Xbox brand. Like that literally
and
what
they
it feels
might
like.
be. Yeah, because Microsoft, if you look at how much money they make yearly, like Xbox brings little to the table compared to actually like Microsoft as a company. And I think Microsoft might abandon Xbox if they haven't already, like just
Yeah.
left them to their own devices. Like, I don't know.
I genuinely can't tell if it's incompetence or like
is.
some
It's
kind of marketing
incompetence.
strategy. I mean, that's what it
Dog.
feels like. But
Dog,
I don't know.
it is. They put all their cards in their new business model and Game Pass and all the crazy other decisions they've made. But yeah, it's I can't see what they're going for. I can't see what their vision is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think the Switch is gonna have
I think the Switch
one of
is
their
gonna-
worst years.
is
Interesting. You
I
think?
think-
you think the
I
Switch
don't
will
know
have
how
the
it could be worse
Okay, but
than
here,
last
hold
year.
on. Let me get through it. I think the Switch 2
No.
is gonna have one of the worst one of the worst first party years, but
Uh-huh.
one of the best third party years. I think
That's a good point.
I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna announce a ton of cool stuff this year. Or yeah, they're gonna announce a ton of cool stuff, but it's gonna come out next year for first party stuff.
Mhm.
I think.
Did you not
but
hear me say Pokopia?
Yeah, get out of here. I think, yeah, but their third party is gonna be insane. Like, of course, they got Monster Hunter Stories, Resident Evil, the new James Bond game. They got Pragmata. They got Dispatch. Dusk Bloods is coming out.
Yeah,
They've
I hope
got
Dispatch
the Elden
plays
Ring
well.
release is coming out for the Switch too. I mean, they've got like tons and tons of third party releases. They're going to be like incredible. But man, they have been silent on their first party. Like the last 6 months have been basically nothing for the Switch too.
Yeah. I think if it weren't for the Donkey Kong game, they would. I mean, I think most people felt like Mario Kart World was kind of a disappointment. It's functionally a very good game, but most of the content in that game is not something that anyone really felt strongly about. Like no one really wanted an open world Mario Kart game in the way that they gave it to us.
100%,
I want it
yeah.
like it was too close to Diddy Kong Racing. I'll just play Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah.
But
But not as good, yeah.
well, Diddy Kong Racing in the sense that like Diddy Kong Racing has some secrets for you to find and actually some characters that you can unlock by riding around in the open world. And it connects things in a way that gave the game a lot of personality. I'm sure that lots of people would argue with me, but I don't feel any compulsion to explore the Mario Kart world because I've done it several times and never found anything that compelled me to keep going. So it's a great racing game, but I don't have it. The big new edition just landed totally flat for me.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah. No, you're good. I would agree. I think they're like you can do the grinding and stuff like that, and it's
Start
like,
over.
Who cares? And it's like you can't even explore the open. You can't even explore the open world like co-op.
Yeah, it's
I know a Fable 2. Yeah.
yeah, we were just talking about how Fable 2 is going to be a disappointment.
Like the instrument system is such a bad idea.
In Mario Kart World, like the big thing they added was the open world, but they didn't really put anything in it worth exploring.
Yeah, for sure. It was a huge letdown. And even DK Bonanza it's cool, but like after a while, like I think most people just dropped off that game. They're like, yeah, it's pretty, but it just doesn't have the stay factor.
The ending of that game is so pardon the pun, bananas. Like
yeah, I knew
in the worst possible way.
That's right.
It just is. It's real dumb. It's real dumb.
Yeah.
I found that game fun. When Ryan called it Donkey Kong Gorilla, I laughed really hard because that's exactly what that game felt like to me.
Yeah.
And that's all I could think about after I started playing it.
Yeah,
So
I was like so confused when I made that joke because I was like, that has to be already a huge thing on.
I've never heard a single other person make that joke. And I listen to a lot of game podcasts, I will say.
That's right, man.
But I would say big year for Nintendo. You were saying third party stuff is going to be huge, which I agree with because they're bringing a lot of Resident Evil games to the Switch too, which I think is really interesting. It feels like they're trying to set a bigger precedent for like AAA games being on the Switch too now.
Yeah,
And
which is a
I
big
don't think
moment.
that will be true for very long, but I think it's interesting that they're
That's a
trying.
point in history for Nintendo.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, yeah.
It really
Huge
is.
deal. Yeah.
But I think there's a new Mario Tennis game coming out, which I hope is really good because I'm excited about that. There's a new Super Mario Bros. Like core game that was it Wonder. It's a remake with new features, but I would buy that. I'm not going to buy the Super Mario Galaxy remakes because it's $100, and I'm not an idiot. I don't think.
Yeah, they think they can just buy it being 2 games, and that's just like
Truly insane to me.
it's
But
an insane decision.
I think that it's kind of like they get first place of the big three for me just because they're trying anything at all. I think Sony is working on some kind of streaming handheld to compete with the Steam Deck. I don't think that's necessary or necessarily even relevant.
Yeah.
I will be shocked if it. So I wouldn't buy it just out of principle that every portable console Sony's ever made, they left out in the cold to die. I don't think they care about supporting any of that stuff at all.
Yeah.
And it's always technically very finicky. Like when you could stream your PlayStation 4 to your Vita, that worked great when it worked, but it was just very hard to get that nailed down.
That one's very rare that it was flawless.
Yeah, so I would need to see a lot to convince me that there's even a reason to really pay close attention to that.
Yeah.
When there is a Steam Deck coming out, the Switch 2 just came out, and there are some titles that I would really like to play on the PlayStation 5 that I'm assuming would be on this console, but they're also on PC. Like the world of interconnectivity now, like exclusives are kind of a thing of the past. So in order to sell a console like that to me, it really has to be about features or price or preferably both. And I don't think Sony has excelled in either of those for me in a long time. I just don't know what they're doing. They're definitely doing better than Microsoft because they're not actively like executing any executive that thinks it's a good idea to make a good game for the Xbox, but that's not saying much. So I think Nintendo kind of wins by default for me.
Yeah. I mean, Xbox was going in such a good direction with exclusives and Game Pass when it first started that it was like a no-brainer to choose, for me at least, but choose between PlayStation and Xbox. It was like Xbox, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. And I didn't care to pay the subscription at the time, but now Game Pass just seems to make less and less sense. And then the next console is just going to make less sense. That I don't know. It's just going to be I don't know what they're doing. And I don't know. Nintendo, yeah, their games are going to be more expensive, but at least you're getting Nintendo games, and they're usually great.
Yeah, they do. I feel like Nintendo has a reputation for at least producing quality games. Some of them are better than others, absolutely, but except for Pokemon, yeah, that's true. But that's Game Freak, right? So
yeah,
we
know
it's
not
not
just Game Freak. It's Game Freak's time restrictions that they have, and like what they're.
Yeah, I think you're right that Nintendo has some responsibility there. That's true, but
it's necessarily Game Freak's fault entirely.
If Nintendo is the developer, I think they will pretty much always produce a game worth buying, so to speak.
Yeah.
Is Talon gone?
No, I'm just.
He just lost interest.
Oh, he's just. He's too interested.
No, but I do think people are going to start paying attention to Nintendo Like, sure,
Finally.
no, the Nintendo, the prices, man, are insane, and that's why I think third party is going to do a lot better. And
Yeah.
like you were, Jared, or like you were talking about with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond or whatever, like most people were pretty disappointed with that game. And so basically all of the big first party releases last year over the last 6 months were pretty schmer.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean,
And
DK
the-
Bonanza it sticks out, I think, but from all the others, they kind of just schmeh. But I don't. I just think that third parties are going to be cheaper, and it's like being able to play it handheld.
Yeah.
Be able to do all this and that,
I
and
think it's definitely the year of indie developers 2026 because AAA is just like let down across the board.
Yeah, I think that's been a
definitely.
trend, but I think that trend's
Yeah.
absolutely going to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, I think Sony's just gonna just keep doing what Sony does. I mean, they release their first party console or their first party games, and but they're just going to release on PC, so it's like, well, what's the and
Yeah.
Xbox is sitting in the back, trying to figure out what they're doing. And I do think that they are going to announce their hybrid console by the end of the year. I would be surprised if they didn't, but I also I am curious to see how expensive that is and what their model is going to look like, because I mean, game prices are just going up, consoles are going up, the shortage of everything,
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting harder to pay for groceries now,
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, is it going to be
It's
practical? Like,
people will
what is
spend
the
less money
plan
on
here?
video games than any year ever, I think.
Yeah. It's
so-
hard to buy groceries when I have to pay $80 for all these Nintendo games.
Exactly.
That's the real problem.
I am a hungry gamer.
That's right.
Yeah.
$80 to $90. Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah. So we're gonna see, I think, Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, I think we're gonna see panic. I think we're gonna see some crazy decisions made because numbers aren't where they want. And then
I
I
agree.
think we're gonna see an AI bubble pop, and
Gosh, I hope
we're
so.
gonna see a crash. And we're gonna see like people just dealing with the hardware they have, and they're gonna be playing lower, like indie games that don't require, the next gen console and graphics cards and stuff like that because people just can't afford it. So
Yeah, I agree.
Agree.
People are gonna be playing the games that they're still playing.
Yeah.
I think live service games are gonna start really trending
Yeah.
down.
I think Steam is obviously going to play a huge part in the downfall of Game Pass and those ideas. And
Yeah, I mean, maybe not as big of a role as Game Pass is going to play in the fall of Game Pass, but
yeah, it's
probably pretty significant. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like where Game Pass has fallen, like Steam is there to get you, and then that is why it will.
I think Game Pass on its face was such a good deal, and they really offered a lot of incentives on the kind of the periphery of what they did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're paying a monthly fee to get these games, but day one is great, and then they had the DLC discounts, and they had like membership benefits in a lot of ways, and all that stuff is kind of getting trimmed back slowly.
Man, the perks are an absolute joke, and they always have been. If you go to the perks section of Game Pass, and it's like always stuff in a tech game, and then some chip game, and then it's like that pub game that's like a Fortnite clone, PUBG.
Oh yeah,
It's like always some random garbage reward for these games that no one plays. I think PUBG is pretty popular, but they're like trying to just get people into these games, so they'll like do like the subscription season pass stuff. Like it's not like free stuff; it's content to get you into these games that are huge money sinks. But they act like it's a perk, and it's not.
Yeah,
They're the
it's
hooks.
not a perk; it's a trap. Yeah.
They're hooks.
The hooks. That's right. All right. Well, do you guys have any final thoughts or?
Dude, Fable will win Game of the Year.
If
GTA
Grand
6
Theft
is
Auto
going to be
gets
delayed.
if it gets delayed, then
It's scheduled for
if-
November, so I honestly think it'll be delayed till summer 27.
You think Fable
Really?
will or Grand Theft Auto?
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Especially since
Fable.
their
It
like
could be delayed.
headquarters just burned down or something like that.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's one of those things where the hype is so high that it just feels like developers are so hesitant to show content and release content. Like we do not want to disappoint. It's
Yeah.
almost impossible not to, because the hype is just unreal.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna sell so
Yeah.
much, anyways. You know,
They need to hire Peter Money to like
Die.
hype to hype.
Oh, yeah.
Peter
Sorry, I
Molyneux
was
is a
going in a different direction.
well-intentioned. He is a well-intentioned creative developer that held back by the restrictions of corporate. Okay.
You'll tap the cube, and the cube will get smaller.
Yeah. And then he asked
Peter,
his
slow
boss what he
down.
could-
We're writing as fast as we can.
He asked the boss what he could put in the cube after he made the cube, and they're like, I don't know, like a peppermint or something. They're like, no.
What do you think we should put in the cube, boss?
The keys to
lawsuit.
Albion.
Oh yeah, know that.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
it's the seed for a tree.
A real tree, the last of its
Watch.
kind.
This thing will grow in real time.
Oh no, it went to a man in Los Angeles and he planted it and it died. That's the wrong climate.
That's amazing. Oh man. Well, we'll see, man. I mean, I'm curious to see how this year is going to go. Obviously, we're just beginning. There's quite a few releases coming out pretty soon, so even the next few months is going to be it's pretty stacked with which is some good stuff that we're looking forward to. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Of course, come summer when they have all their summer game announcement stuff, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be an adventure if nothing else.
It'll be an adventure. That's right, and we'll circle back around towards the end of the year, and we'll figure out who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna say No Rest for the Wicked gets Game of the Year. That's my
I don't think
prediction.
it'll get Game of the Year because not enough people will know about
No,
it.
I don't think it's gonna get Game of the Year, but
You
you
think it'll get a
guys seem to
console
really
release this
like
year?
it.
It will get a console
Oh.
release
You
when it
think it'll
went
be
on
this
the
year?
one on the 1.0. Yeah, I think so. That's what they're slotted to do, isn't it?
That'd be dope.
Titan Quest goes Titan Quest 2 goes 1.0 this year.
I'm more interested in Path
What are
of
you
Exile
talking-
2.
Oh,
going.
Titan Quest. I'll take you. I was thinking Titanfall.
Not Titanfall.
I was like, yeah, Titanfall 3
Quest.
confirmed.
For me, like Titan Quest
No.
2 and Path of Exile 2 are like in direct competition for my time, and Path of
Yeah.
Exile 2 seems
I think
better.
people seem kind of lukewarm on Path of Exile 2. I've heard a lot of people say that all the stuff they've added have slowed it down quite a bit. So I haven't played it either way. I don't know, but I have a passive interest in Path of Exile 2. So depending on what they do with that game could definitely come into its own this year.
Well, what I've heard for Titan Quest 2 doesn't pull me in because they like took that awesome character level up system and kind of streamlined it and made it a little simpler and like gave you less freedom.
Boo.
Yeah, so I was like, I was hoping they would just build on that concept and make it more wild, and it seems they went the other way, like the difference between like Morrowind and Oblivion kind of deal.
Yeah, that's a shame, but
I
guess
yeah, that's just from what I gathered from some short gameplays and the developer talk about stuff. So
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be a good year either way.
There will
Probably
be
not.
What happens?
There will be bads, but
We'll be good, sir.
we'll the goods, and then we'll have a good time talk about the bads.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
But
You get that
anyways,
silver
thanks
line.
guys for joining us, and we'll see what happens. And don't forget to save.
Don't forget to save.
Don't forget to save.
I forgot to save the other day, but I auto save. It's on every game, so
Yeah,
I don't know why I didn't tell people.
It
Don't
auto
do
saved,
that,
and I wish
man.
it hadn't. So that's